New tonight, a family and community ripped apart.
I haven't slept. I haven't eaten. And I just need my child back.
A 22-year-old college student is dead after drowning at a popular swimming hole in Newton County.
The young man was an international student at North Arkansas College in Harrison. 22-year-old Alan Buberwa of Tanzania was standing on a riverbank in Pruitt and slipped, falling into what Newton County Sheriff's Office is calling high waters.
New this morning, a student at the University of Hartford died after he was swept away in the current of a river in Massachusetts. Authorities say 27-year-old Phoebe Aliami of Hartford and a friend were swimming in the Chicopee River in Wilbraham when they both drowned on Friday.
Investigators say an 11-year-old boy drowned in a McCreary County river. They say the boy was swimming with his family last night in the Big South Fork of the Cumberland River when he disappeared.
These scenes demonstrate the major issue of college drownings in the U.S., as well as drownings right here in the state of Kentucky. While these individuals suffered the worst consequences, nearly drowning and surviving also causes a multitude of medical problems, including memory loss, loss of basic function, and even comas. There is no good outcome for someone who is drowning. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the United States averages about 10 unintentional drowning deaths per day, adding up to over 3,500 deaths per year. With significantly higher drowning rates in the southeastern United States, unintentional drownings are an even bigger problem for the University of Kentucky and other SEC schools. Drowning is one of the top causes of death for children aged 1 to 4, but is also endemic to college students. With the prevalence of alcohol in the average college student's life, coupled with the peer pressure of their friends, we see many cases of drowning deaths in teenage students. We surveyed the University of Kentucky students on their swimming experiences and found some interesting results. Although 94% of students claimed to be confident in their own swimming abilities, 63.7% said that they knew someone without basic swimming skills. There was also another shocking number. Almost 13% of those surveyed knew someone who had drowned. These numbers, however, tend to not show the real truth, according to the Red Cross. The Red Cross reported that over half of Americans lack basic swimming skills, and 56% of Americans have had a close call while in or on the water. Additionally, many of these people lacking basic skills assume competence, and only find out that they cannot save themselves once it is too late. Here, Dr. Kwan gives a good rundown of what exactly is meant by water competency.
Water competency is the idea that water safety is more than just knowing how to swim. What's water safety for one setting is not the same as water safety for another setting. What you can do in a lake is different from what you can pull off in a surf or in a current.
We came up with 5 skills that were related to the minimum someone should know to be safe engaging in the water. That was entering the water safely and coming back to the surface, treading water for about 1 minute, turning and orientating themselves to the exit of the pool, orientating themselves into a swim position and moving about 25 yards or meters in the water, and then exiting the water safely.
We need to be thinking about water safety, water competency as a continuum, if you will, of water safety from before you get in to when you're in, and then lastly also to helping others.
This is a beginning of a conversation. We'll continue to look at it, but it is a good starting point.
At the University of Kentucky, we want to increase water competency, as outlined by the Red Cross, by modeling another school, the University of Notre Dame. According to the Notre Dame magazine, back in 2014, all students were required to have a physical ed credit to graduate. The class needed for this credit required the students to take and pass a swim exam. On the first day of class, all students took the test, and all they had to do was swim down and back twice to pass. If they were unable to accomplish this, then they had to spend the rest of the year receiving swim lessons. If they were able to pass, then they were free to pick an alternative gym credit, like basketball or fencing. We would like to implement a similar course of action at the University of Kentucky, but since our goal is to reach the university as a whole, we want to expand these requirements to include not only students, but also staff members. We want UK to have their own required swim test that will assess a person's swimming ability. It will be similar to Notre Dame's, but include more water competency skills from the Red Cross. Will consist of swimming a couple laps and treading water for a minute. Staff members will take this test during their training, and students will take theirs at a specified time during orientation. A team will be assembled to be in charge of scheduling all orientation swim exams. If members fail, they will be required to take swim lessons until they are able to successfully pass, which will be provided during their paid hours. If students are unable to pass, then they will take a swimming course during the academic year.
Financially, adding in the swim test for orientation and supporting classes for those who need them may seem like a lot. However, this summer a predicted 5,000 freshman students are expected to attend orientation, and so with the addition of $25 to the orientation fee, $125,000 can be funneled into financing both the test and lessons. This money is a great start to help fund pool maintenance, lifeguards, swim instructors, etc., which are already a part of the university staff and have their own budget. This money would just increase the funds they have to work with in order to alleviate any potential financial struggles that adding a swim test and lessons could have.
The test will be required for all community members, and it will be implemented gradually. Employees will be assessed by department alphabetically until all departments have been evaluated. Current students will be tested by college and class, starting with seniors and finishing up with the freshmen. Despite required swim tests and classes being enacted in other universities, we want the University of Kentucky to have a wide-reaching of an effect as possible. We are looking to decrease the rates of drowning in Lexington, so we want to do more than just require a swim test. We also want to educate. All students and faculty will be provided with virtual pamphlets about statistics, resources, and what the Lancaster Aquatic Center has to offer. These will be emailed to all UK emails and will be available to be printed. Also, we decided to put a focus on Greek life because members of sororities and fraternities are more likely to find themselves intoxicated and near bodies of water during events such as formal. FSL 101 is a mandatory online course for new members of Greek life, and we would like to add onto this course a short section about swimming and water safety. We believe this to be beneficial to the vulnerable population of Greek life. It would provide them with multiple ways to stay safe and tips and tricks to prevent drowning. It would consist of facts and videos like this one from Life Nugget. The more people are educated, the safer and more aware they will be.
But what's actually going on during that process? Well, firstly, drowning isn't like how you see it in the movies. There's not a lot of thrashing around or yells for help. Typically, it's a silent act, where the person's mouth sinks below the surface of the water and then reappears as they try to breathe. Once they can no longer hold their initial breath and start to hyperventilate, they might aspirate water, triggering something called a laryngospasm. This is where the person's vocal cords spasm, blocking their airways and protecting their lungs. However, it also inconveniently makes yelling for help significantly harder to do.
Learning to swim offers a variety of benefits like life-saving abilities. In fact, according to a peer-reviewed article from Science Direct, swimming is recommended very often in medical cases because of its accessibility to people of all ages. The study even went so far as to try and gauge the effects of swimming on a person's mental state and found that it significantly improved levels of happiness while reducing stress. On college campuses, where stress is overabundant, knowing how to swim could not only prevent someone from drowning, but maybe even help to prevent other life-endangering activities from taking place. UK's campus is no stranger to tragic events, unfortunately, and a campus-wide swim test could play a small role in providing a solution.
Thus, as the planning for next year's orientation begins, consider how implementing a campus-wide swim test would not only reduce the local drownings, but also provide thousands with life-saving abilities.